Ordena, falla y sentencia que Walter Macmillan sea ejecutado en la silla eléctrica.
Es mi padre, señoría.
Siéntese, joven.
John, siéntate, vamos.
No ha hecho nada.
So I thought the film was incredible. It was so moving, and you do so much amazing work through your job as a lawyer.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering why you thought this film was important to make as a film.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I do now realize that I can't do the kind of work I want to do and achieve the kind of justice I want to see if I just stay in the courts. It became clear to me about 10 years ago, if we don't get outside the court and create an environment, create a consciousness among more people about the unfairness and inequality that we're seeing, that we won't get where we need to go. And cinema is powerful. It's an art form that has enormous influence. And I just wanted to bring people closer to the kinds of things that I've been seeing for the last 35 years. I believe if people saw what I see on a regular basis, they'd want the same things I want. They'd want people to be treated fairly, to see people treated justly. And I thought it was just time for there to be a wake-up call. America has the highest rate of incarceration in the world. We've got thousands of people facing execution. We put children in adult prisons. We condemn people to die in prison. And I don't think we've confronted the inhumanity of some of that. And these stories, I think, can wake people up and hopefully motivate people to do better.
And when you were adapting the story for the screen, was there any specific part that you really wanted to be included and not be cut?
Yeah, I mean, it's always hard because there's so much more in the book. I talk about so many more clients. There are other issues, the plight of the mentally ill, children, women. But when we were putting this together, the one thing I didn't want to be left out was the Herbert Richardson story. Because for me, it was important that the film not just present the cases of people on death row who are innocent, but I wanted to present the case of somebody who was actually guilty of something. He committed a crime, and yet I wanted people to struggle with the propriety of executing him. The death penalty for me isn't about whether people deserve to die for the crimes they've committed. The question is, do we deserve to kill? And when you have a system that treats you better if you're rich and guilty, that is compromised by bigotry and racism, that is not responsive to the needs of the mentally ill, I don't think you deserve to kill. And so I wanted that to be a part of the story, to be a part of the film, so people would understand that even if we let out all the innocent people, we still have a lot of work to do to create a just system.
Yeah, I agree. I thought that storyline was incredibly powerful. And in fact, some of those scenes were so emotional that they really like shake you to your core. And I was wondering if there's a film that you've seen that's provoked a similar reaction in you.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's so many great films out there. I think good storytelling is always personal. It always brings you into a world or into a space that is very compelling. One of my favorite films this year was actually Pain and Glory, because it was such a beautifully told story, and there was a kind of intimacy. And I know people who fall down and struggle to get back up, and that's a story that always resonates with me. But, to be honest, any story that illuminates something that we haven't really thought about, 12 Years a Slave, Schindler's List, these kinds of stories get you inside worlds that are very difficult, but very necessary for people to see. And I really admire filmmakers who take that on. I hope this film is another film in that tradition, in that it exposes people to a world that we tend not to want to look at, but we have to look at if we're going to actually be the kind of healthy, just society that many of us want to be.
Tu vida sigue importando. Y voy a hacer todo lo posible por impedir que te la arrebaten.